What's going on? This is Big G from G Riders, and welcome to another episode of Talking Rides. Today, I'm with my friend Harley here, and we're going to be talking about his Miata. Harley, what kind of car is this?
So this is my 2002 Mazda Miata. It is a 1.8 liter VVT. I am pushing right now, it's pretty stock, so I'm just pushing the factory horsepower down to the ground. Put on a cat back exhaust so far. I have done some of the supporting modifications, getting ready for my turbo, so I'm going to be putting a GT25 6CR on there. Going to be hopefully pushing about 230 to 250 wheel horsepower, so
that's going to be quite a bit for this little car.
Oh yeah, that'll be definitely a lot of a change. So far I've done some supporting mods, like the clutch, I have done the radiator, and I'm going to also do a coolant reroute. Megasport is going to be the engine management of my choice, and I'm going to be running the Megasport 3 expansion. So I'm going to be running that built by Reverend on Miata Turbo.
Nice. Here you want to show?
I've done the wheels, I've done a roll bar, put a hardtop on there, I've done all the pads on the car. Other than that, it's pretty much how I got it. I've changed the motor since I actually popped my last one, so right now it has a 15,000 mile motor, even though the body only has 109,000 on it.
Okay, nice. What kind of wheels do you have on there?
So I have a Conic lens, and then right behind there, I also have a Megan Racing coilover. They aren't just the streets, but they are definitely really good. 7K in front, 3K in rear, and I mean it handles like a dream. The wheels themselves are 11 pounds a corner.
Oh wow!
Tire, so they're really light. They're a flow-formed wheel.
How big and how wide are they?
They are 15 by 8 in the front, 15 by 8.5 in the rear.
Nice. Yeah, you can't put too big wheels in these things.
No, but I can still hide a little bit of meat under there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's see how this thing sounds. Perfect. Out of any other car you could have chosen, why'd you choose this one?
So I chose this one, actually, funny story. I chose this one on, look, I saw it walking by every day going to high school, and it had been sitting for about 4 or 5 years, so I finally just decided to bring up the courage, and went to this lady's house and asked her if she wanted to sell it. It was her husband's from about 6 years ago, and he had died due to cancer, so it had just been sitting. She thought the transmission had been blown on it since the clutch pedal hit the floor, but I actually did a little bit of research and found out that's kind of a common issue with the slave cylinder, the clutch slave, to go out. So I ended up changing the clutch slave and the master, and picked up the car for about $1,000 that day. Drove it, or didn't actually drive it home, got it trailered home, and 3 days later it was back on the road running. So for $1,200 it was my second car, and it was definitely a lot better than my 93.
Alright, so besides Mazda, what is your favorite brand?
See, that's a hard one. I'm definitely really into European cars. I like the BMW and the Audi. But I also do have a little bit of Japanese love from me, and I like Subarus a lot. Going back to some of the older Subarus, I like how Naomi Saldago is doing her Subaru RSTI build, and that's kind of like one of my favorite kind of dream builds. Porsche. I like how their rear-wheel drive cars are, you know, based after being light and getting through the corners as fast as they can. So that's kind of what I'm into with this Miata, and you know, that just kind of touches base back home with me as well.
Oh yeah, nice. So what would be your dream car, your current dream car right now?
You know, straying away from what I really like, I have a dying love for the new C7 Stingray.
Oh yeah.
I just think it's beautiful, and it has a lot of power. I have not gotten to test drive one myself, but I have gotten to be a passenger one, and it about blew me away about how quick it was.
Yeah.
So that would be definitely something I'd like to get into. Something newer I'd like to get into is probably going to be one of the new Porsche 911s.
Oh yeah.
Those things are pretty rad.
So one of the turbo ones, one of the new turbo ones?
Yeah, definitely.
I think those are really cool. Like, one thing that I really love about Porsche 911s is how they're priced. So they kind of start at the price from like a good like first fun sports car to all-out supercar with the performance and the handling and everything.
Yeah, I think they have one of those really good out-of-box kind of deals, you know?
Yeah.
You get what you pay for. You know, it is a little bit more expensive, but you get out-of-box that more power, the lighter weight, you know, the better suspensions, things like that. They have really put their mind to the test to build those cars, and for that is something that I really respect and really appreciate.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm Porsche, like, I'm actually a bigger fan of their SUVs. Like the Macan and the Macan and the Cayenne, and even the Panamera. I just think they've extracted the DNA from their 911 to put them into the like more mass selling vehicles, and they've done a great job with it. It's just those Cayennes and Macans, they just look so cool, and they can do a lot. They're excellent SUVs.
Yeah, I think they also were sort of going for another great out-of-box kind of special. You know, you buy it and you get a lot from it. Those cars are really, you know, gorgeous inside and out, and come from factory with definitely a good amount of power, especially the turboed versions.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think all of like those cars are turbo now.
Yeah.
Because I think they just have like different levels of horsepower now, like different levels of boost, pretty much. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, those cars are definitely something that my girlfriend would like to be driving around. I think Porsches in general are sort of going for a decent amount of versatility. The 911 is sort of one of the cars that I think is a great, you know, street to track car. You can drive it around the street, you know, as your everyday grocery getter, taking it to work and back and forth, and then slap on some different tires for the weekend and go enjoy yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you feel about Mazda as a brand now?
Honestly, I think that Mazda's I think that Mazda's have stayed with their roots, especially with the Miata, considering that they still make them.
Yeah.
Which is definitely sweet. It's going on something like 27 years now, or 28 years now.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, it's the longest two-seater sports car to be made. Which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Another thing that I really like is the Mazda Speedline. I think the Mazda Speedline is kind of a really sweet twist on something that Mazda, you know, brings for their everyday, for their grocery getter, for the Mazda Speed 3s, the Mazda Speed 6s, things like that.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely an awesome, you know, change of pace than their everyday grocery getter cars.
Yeah, definitely. You know they're cutting that Mazda Speed line.
Yeah, I know. That is definitely something that nobody probably looks forward to in the automotive industry.
Yeah, just because, like, there's gonna be no other hot hatches to get.
Yeah.
Not, I meant to say, there's not as many options. Because now if you want a hot hatch, you either gotta get a Golf GTI or a Focus ST or RS, or, you know, the higher up stuffs like the CLA AMG, then the S3, and you know, I just think that they're kind of eliminating themselves out of a market that was really big for them, and I don't think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Glenn. I think that the Mazda Speedline is definitely something that holds Mazda kind of still true to its blood. You know, when they did the Mazda Speed Miatas, those were some of the biggest hits, whether they had seen it or not. And they'd probably obviously not seen it because they halted production and it was just a very limited time amount offered. But those cars are definitely one of the more sought after Miatas, you know, in the forums and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting into a regular Miata versus, you know, a factory Mazda Speed Miata is night and day. It's almost like driving a completely different car, except you're in the same one.
Yeah.
Which is really,
How much more horsepower do those Mazda Speed Miatas get?
I think it's almost 100 more factory horsepower, which is
wow,
quite substantial.
Well, that is quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because what motor do they run?
They run the same motors. The only difference really is is that it has a turbo on it, and I think they might be a little bit higher of a compression.
Okay.
Or actually, sorry, lower of a compression. But other than that, that's about it.
Wow. Yeah, because I don't see many Mazda Speed Miatas.
No, there's quite a limited amount compared to the amount of regular Miatas you see every day driving around.
Yeah, definitely. So overall, how happy are you with this? How happy are you with this car?
You know, this is not something I thought I'd be in about 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Being younger, I was really into the Chevys and the American Muscle, but I've kind of strayed away from that because I've really gotten to enjoy going fast around corners and keeping speed up like that. So that is something that I've, you know, toyed around with and come to the conclusion that I think that I'd keep this car for a very long time since I really, really like it.
Yeah.
I want to put about 10 grand total into it and make it, you know, for 10 grand, a smidgen of what you could buy from, say, like a Mercedes out of box, but still have the same amount of performance as a Mercedes would, or say a BMW M3 would.
Yeah, nice. So what's coming for this car?
So I'm going to be doing the GT2560R Turbo from Garrett. Going to be running probably about 12 pounds of boost, making 230 to 250 pounds of wheel horsepower. So that'll be something, you know, fun to toy around with. I'm going to be running the Mega Squirt 3 expansion built by Reverent from Miata Turbo. So that's a little bit more in-depth built Mega Squirt than your plug-and-play from DIY Auto Tune. I'm also going to be running the injectors from the 2015 Shelby GT500.
Oh, wow.
So those are, you know, quite a bit bigger than the stock 220cc injectors. So those are the injectors of choice that I'm going to be running. And other than that, I don't see myself doing too much. I've really toyed around with the idea of getting a diffuser. I really like the looks of that. But other than that, I one day want to take it out to Shift Sector and do a half mile, play around and see how fast I can actually, you know, get going.
Yeah. All right, I'd like to give a special thank you for Harley for bringing out the Miata.
Thank you very much, Glenn. It was a wonderful time going out and shooting with you.
Definitely, and when you get that turbo on, let me know because I want to do an after video on it.
You'll be the first one to shoot.
All right.